Basketball has always been about the big man. Teams like the Showtime Lakers, Hakeem's Rockets, Russell's Celtics, Shaq's Lakers, and Duncan's Spurs used this formula to assemble NBA dynasties. However, a new breed slowly started to emerge as the game and its players got more athletic and styles of play that relied on floor spacing emerged. First came the triangle offense, which was at its peak during Michael Jordan's efficiency using it. Then came the 7 seconds or less offense that the mid-2000s Phoenix Suns teams under Mike D'Antoni popularized. Spurs also developed a system of screening and ball movement during Tim Duncan's latter years. However, the Warriors' small ball system of play is a mashup and fine-tuning of all of these offenses jumbled into one. In the Warriors' offense, the typical big man that has dominated the NBA for decades is not needed, and spacing for three-point shooting is emphasized. To this, big men such as Jahlil Okafor, Greg Monroe, and Andre Drummond are much less valuable in today's. The three-point shot has also been much more valuable due to the Warriors' utilization of the shot, and this has created the market for three-point shooters during free agency to skyrocket. Players such as Ryan Anderson and J.J. Redick recently got big contracts, and their main attribute is to shoot the three ball. Ever since 2015, the trend of three-point shots has been skyrocketing. Just this past season, the Houston Rockets attempted the most three-point shots in NBA history. It was no mistake that the Rockets' fast-paced style under D'Antoni came from a hybrid of the 7 seconds or less Phoenix offense that he ran, and the multiple screens, kicking out to shooter style of play that Golden State has perfected. To show how much of an impact the Warriors' three-point centric play has had on the NBA, let's look at the 5 players that had the best three-point field goal percentage for the 2016-17 season. These players were Pau Gasol, Kyle Korver, Allen Crabbe, Joe Ingles, and Otto Porter. All of these players are making at least $7 million a year, and some of these players, especially Korver and Ingles, are mainly three-point specialists with not much else to offer their teams. In addition to them changing the way that teams in the NBA play, they also changed the whole approach that teams now have to the free agency pool with their signing of Kevin Durant in 2016. Just this past offseason, the Timberwolves traded for Jimmy Butler. The Houston Rockets acquired Chris Paul from the Clippers. OKC got PG-13. Gordon Hayward signed with the Celtics. The Nuggets signed Paul Millsap. The list goes on and on of teams that scrambled to improve their rosters to compete with the firepower that Golden State threw at teams night in and night out. However, it also influenced teams such as Indiana and Chicago to do the opposite and blow it up and look towards the future, as they of course traded their stars because their franchises were constantly stuck in mediocrity and had no plausible way of competing with Golden State. The Boston Celtics were also in a unique situation in the offseason, as they had many assets that they could have flipped for another star, but they were unwilling to due to the Warriors' presence, as even if they added another star, they knew they just couldn't compete with Golden State. So whether people like the move that KD made or not, they cannot deny that it most certainly influenced teams and front offices in their decision making, and it will continue to have an effect on the NBA for a very long time. So now I'm at the point in the video where I'm going to do just as I was discussing and give my thoughts on whether the Warriors are a good thing for the NBA. As for their style of play, I think it is absolutely a good thing for the NBA. The small ball lineup of Curry, Klay Thompson, Durant, Iguodala, and Draymond has emphasized floor spacing and ball movement, and it has certainly created a great highlight reel. Now, the one downside to this is that it seems with the Warriors shooting a plethora of threes that everyone seems to think that they too can shoot threes. Let a quote by former Warriors coach Mark Jackson talking about Steph Curry explain what I'm trying to say. Jackson states, "To a degree, he's hurting the game. And what I mean is I go to these high school gyms, I watch these kids, and the first thing they do is run to the three-point line. You are not Steph Curry. Work on other aspects of your game. People think he's just a knockdown shooter. That's not why he's MVP. He's a complete basketball player." Ignoring my awful Mark Jackson impression, what he is trying to say is that threes aren't everything. And I think it's important to remember that. Just because the three-point shot is a staple of Golden State's game doesn't mean they don't do other things well. They can run pick and rolls, throw up alley-oops, play tight defense. Sean Livingston has one of the best mid-range games in the league. David West is tough on the boards. The Shacked in a full MVP himself, JaVale McGee, is an energy and hustle player off of the bench. So to conclude, I believe that the style of play that Steve Kerr and the Warriors have implemented has honestly been pretty great for the NBA. Now I am on to the much more controversial topic of Kevin Durant leaving the Thunder to sign with Golden State. I will have to save my full and final definitive thoughts until after this season, as I want to see if anyone can dethrone Golden State. But my initial thoughts after this season are that I'm not thrilled about it. I respect the fact that KD had the right to go wherever he wanted, and I don't hate him as a person for exercising those rights. However, I am disappointed with the basketball player KD for not staying in OKC. Just think of the four-team power struggle that the NBA would have with the Thunder, Warriors, Cavs, and Spurs. Man, what an exciting playoffs that would have been this past year. But no, KD had to go ahead and sign with Golden State instead. He upset the power of balance in the NBA, and he changed the scope of NBA history right then and there. Even with new teams such as the T-Wolves rising up, I just can't see the Warriors be beat for at least the next 2 to 3 years. I can't say it's a good thing when we have an NBA monopoly going on, in which one team is just winning the title every year. But I don't want to delve too much into that topic, as this is not what this video is about, but I thought it was necessary to tie everything together. The Warriors have most certainly changed the NBA, and I'm sure we'll see over the coming years whether it's for better or for worse. Overall, I don't mind the Warriors like most people do, though I am a bit upset that they tipped the NBA out of balance. But anyways, I think I've covered about everything I need to for this video. If you liked the video, I would very much appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel. If you would like to be notified of when I upload a new video, please hit the bell in the bottom right corner to get those notifications.